Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, I already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. See a few of y'all in here. Anita, what's going on, baby? Sirius, what's going on, baby? Pixie, what's going on, baby? James number 8, what's going on, my guy? What's going on? First things first, you already know. Hopefully, everybody's having a blessed and productive Wednesday. Hopefully, everybody was able to smoothly get through the day. For those on the West Coast, the same thing. Hopefully, y'all kids was able to get through the school day as well. We're almost to the weekend, y'all. So, again, praying and hoping that everybody was able to kindly smooth it out and also shoot, get prepared for your weekends. Appreciate everybody. Some people, I'm not going to lie to you, need to pay careful attention to things. Some of the topic I'm gonna speak about tonight, it mostly had to deal with the first part of the live as far as parents being too obsessive. Now, why would I say that? Because there are some parents who are obsessive. Um, like for some of y'all, I was telling the situation earlier. Nobody should have to feel like their life is on pause or like they can't do anything else in life the way they want to because of obsessive parenting. There are some who, again, whether they're widows or they divorced, some of them latch on to their kids and even latch on to their personal lives. We've seen some women who will mess up their sons or their daughters' lives because either A, they don't like anybody that they're dating, or they just include themselves into every little juncture of their life, even down to the sex life, which I feel is you know, the worst thing you can do is really latch yourself on like that. Your kids are adults at the end of the day. And even if they do come back to try to do the simplest thing, like try to take care of you or whatever, you should also respect the fact that they have a life. No way, even into adulthood, a child or anybody for that matter should feel like they are Cinderella to a parent. Now, don't get it twisted. Yeah, you are supposed to take care of your parents when they do get into elder ages. But in the same token, it's still got to be a balance. See, the thing is, again, it's cool to be observant as a parent. It's cool to be nurturing and everything else that you're supposed to do because observation is going to be your key for everything. But when observation becomes obsession, that's a problem. Oh, did I see it? Anita, what's going on, baby? Hope I ain't missed nobody. Um, but again, that becomes a problem. Um, there's some people who, even to the point of being married, have had marriages ruined because of, you know, just straight up people not respecting boundaries. Now, I would say it in this instance, if I'm married to somebody and I know for a fact a parent is coming to stay or they parent might have to stay with us, they gonna have to respect the boundaries, and vice versa. It's a boundary level. You know, again, it's one thing to, to give advice or even try to cool certain situations down, especially if it's going to avoid your kid or your child going through any type of circumstances. But then again, they are adults. As long as your children are not being harmed in any way, shape, or form, where you have to again perform your parently duties, even up in age, your children are essentially going to have to do their own thing and figure out their own problems. See, this is the thing with some parents. You'll implement something about staying in the child's place when they're young, or, you know, there's certain things that I'm not going to talk to you about. It's none of your business, even when they do get a little older, right? But when they are of a certain age and now it's the other way around, you expect them to not just tell you everything, but you expect them to do everything as well. Now, again, I could commend those who are doing what they're doing as far as taking care of their parents on any level. I could respect that to the fullest degree. But see, there are some parents that honestly, they do way too much. They do. Miss T, what's going on, baby? I knew somebody who marriage got ruined because their mother would not, and I repeat, would not stay out of their fucking affairs all the time. Every time there was a slight argument, she was in there. Every time they thought they was going to have some sort of peace and quiet, she was there. Now again, some parents, whether they single as far as divorce or they widow, at some point, I would say y'all need to find companions and find people within your realms so you could detach a little more. There's nothing worse than you trying to live your life, whether you married or not, and you got to stop everything because you got to rush to go do something, or you're missing your child that badly, or you too caught up on it. At the end of the day, I know every parent fears certain things in life, and it's understandable. But there are some situations where you don't have to always be so clinged on and attached to it. Like, there's certain things I've always felt again, there's just should be boundaries, But there's some parents that don't have no boundaries at all, have no respect at all. I would always say, regardless of what's going on, right? When they are well over the age of 21, I wouldn't care if they was living home still and doing something, or living on their own and doing something. There should be a boundary on certain things. You parents wasn't telling us about your love lives and stuff like that, and I don't feel the kids should tell you about theirs neither, to a degree, on no level, because again, that's crossing the boundary. Now, again, when your kids are young and impressionable, yeah, you're supposed to be observant. You're supposed to keep every observation open, even when they do get into their teens, because, yeah, every damn teen, sorry to say it, throughout the course of history, is going to be a hot box one way or another. And what I mean by hot box is, yeah, they smelling themselves, they feeling themselves. We know that. Kev, what's going on? But the one thing to remember, too, is just being as observant to where you don't have to always, be fearful. If your kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, even getting into adulthood, um, once they get into adulthood, there's some things you should be able to let go. Like once your kid turns 21, regardless if they live in a house or not, they are grown. So they're gonna be living their life. They're gonna be out there dating. They're gonna be out there having fun with their friends and doing a whole bunch of different things. You know, my fault. I thought I seen a raccoon, y'all. Already in the evening, I thought I seen a raccoon. You might have heard me throw the phone at it for a second. My bad. But it's crazy because I understand that when they're your babies, yeah, you gonna go hard to be as protective as you can be. At least the parents who actually love and care for their kids. I can't say that same thing for those ones who don't love and care. I can't because honestly, if they loved and cared, some of these kids and even into adulthood wouldn't be in the positions that they in now. Lucy, what's going on, baby? Now again, if your kids are that well rounded, and if you that blessed to have kids that actually love and care, guess what? When it does come a certain time, yes, they are going to do their best to take care of you. Even if they have to minimize a certain portion of their life to do so, they will do so, especially if they love and care for you. But again, I would say some of y'all, when it's time to let go, y'all have to learn to let go. You have to. As much as it's hard to, you're going to have to. Because, yeah, they are going to start living their life, having their own experiences and everything. So, yeah, the observation is the key when they're young, even until they get into adulthood. But once they get into adulthood, you should be focusing on your own life. Some of y'all should be focusing on, okay, oh, damn, my bad, y'all. I got distracted. It looked like somebody going to jail tonight. That's the third car that rolled down the block. Goodness gracious. Nobody should be wanting to go to jail tonight on this cold ass night. Hammer, what's going on, baby? I already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. Um, but again, some of y'all should learn to detach. When your kids get into a certain age and they start having their own little families and shit, damn, somebody's going to jail for real tonight. That's the sixth call, damn. And the ambulance. Oh, live from Nosy Nate News. Always something in the hood. Wouldn't be a New York City night if you ain't hear one of these damn sirens. So, but yeah, you supposed to detach. Um, there are some parents who are happy that their kids have, started their lives as far as adulthood. Again, whether they living in the house or whether they living on their own, they are mostly happy, and most of them are trying to get accustomed to, living their lives again. If you still happen to be married or whatever, yeah, you're gonna want that time. Now that you got complete quiet to a degree, hey, you want to be with your significant other. You want to be able to have that depressing, no, my fault, the decompression time from all the other stresses in the world. James, what's going on, my guy? And this is my thing though. There are some parents who love that because at the end of the day, now they get to have some peace and quiet. There are some parents who, hey, they might even be trying to fucking score again to get another kid in the world. You never know. But again, when your kids get into adulthood, when there's things that you know for a fact is going to be damaging, yeah, as a parent, you're supposed to give that advice. You're supposed to be observant of certain things, but in the same token, let them live. They have to figure out their own life decisions. You can't make decisions for them even into adulthood. That part is the truth right there. Now, another thing, again, yeah, we know parents are going to be observant and they're going to be protective when it comes to their kids, even if they're dating, prime example. Now, I've always believed if you're going to have kids that are thinking about dating, they should be at a proper age where they well enough to know what's what. But then again, when you are a teen, and most of us have been there, you're going to be wild as a goose to some degree. And the ones that's not, that's more commitment to them because at least they're thinking about not just giving it up to everybody, but they also thinking about, you know, their own safety. Because again, there's so many different things going on. Now, I could see if your child was trying to get with somebody that you know is the town. You know what I'm getting ready to say. But yeah, you would have all rights to say something. But then again, I've always felt like this too. When your children decide to make decisions, even if it ain't the best decisions, they got to be able to make that decision and either live in that decision or face that decision and change it up. Essentially, it is up to them when they get into adulthood who they decide to lay up with or who they decide to try to start a family with. And I would always say, as long as your child ain't with the community pot or the community cock, um, that should be your real only fear is that they get with somebody like that. Because again, we all know that saying: can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and you definitely can't turn no community dick into no house nigga or a house man, whatever you want to call that shit. Don't matter. So I can see you being observant on that, but then again, it's gonna be their decision to make. Now I've always felt like this too. Your child could be happy, probably found the one that's gonna complete them and everything. But in that same token, it's not up to you to make the decision if they're going to continuously deal with them or not. And it's not. If your child is grown, your child deciding, hey, they want to get married to somebody that they feel makes them happy, completes them. If that person is definitely doing right by them, then hey, let them make that decision to do whatever. The main thing y'all should remember is to be happy. You should be happy on that joyous occasion because your child is taking another step as far as adulthood is concerned. But it's crazy. Again, you have to think about these things. You have to. Okay, my child is grown. My child is making good decisions as far as they working, they building their own thing. Okay, I can respect that. They probably found somebody that they happy with. Okay, I can respect that. But the one thing I'm supposed to remember, even as a parent, is to remember that there's still a certain amount of space I'm supposed to give my child. Now, if there's things that my child comes to me about, then I'm gonna sit down as a parent and I'm gonna try to give my best advice. But then again, I'm gonna let them make their own decisions and do what they're gonna do. I'm just gonna give them something to think on and keep it pushing. Not saying I don't care as a parent, but again, essentially the decisions that are being made are up to them. You're supposed to be observing everything because again, when your kids are young, they are in different types of dangers. Because again, we got this going on right now. Some parents are being irresponsible, not keeping observations on their kids, and now some of their kids are coming home pregnant, coming home with STDs and all sorts of wild stuff, right? So in that same token, um, that's the biggest problem in the world. Some of you parents really don't observe what the hell is going on. First of all, if you know what's something wrong with your kid as a parent, you're supposed to sit down and talk to them. Even when they're young, if you feel certain things, yeah, you sit down and talk to them and have them talk. Your kids should never feel like they can't come to you and talk to you about anything. And I've always felt like this too. Again, when they are making decisions that are going to be critical for their own life and their own movement, sometimes you got to sit back and just fall back. Can't do much. Now, it's a difference. Your child, male or female, is in an abusive relationship and stuff. As a parent, yeah, you're going to still have your words to say, or you still going to try to implement the best idea possible for your child, even try to strengthen your child. But then again, I feel like this. Some consequences your children make, it's gonna be their consequence, especially if they wasn't listening in the first place. But then again, some people don't want to listen because if they feel like they're gonna keep being chastised, judged on everything they do, every decision that they make, every person that they get with, that will essentially break a bond at some point. Because now you're not showing your child that I'm happy for whatever's going on in your life. Now, with this situation I was talking about this morning, I know the family, but the thing is, I'm more disappointed because the mom should have known better anyway. Your child is not no little baby no more. She might be your baby, but she's not your little baby no more. Your daughter is a grown woman, possibly could be getting married, trying to bring kids into the world before that clock or whatever stops. And in the same token, you're being childish. The minute they decide to go off and do something, yeah, you're calling the phone, you're stressing that person out. I need you here. I need you here. And then you don't even need, look, first of all, some of you elder parents out there, I hope y'all get this message too. If your body is still able to do certain things, even if you can't do everything, your child is supposed to help you to some degree. But don't use and abuse that privilege neither, because that right there will draw a person away from you too. Now, if she would have just been an unruly child, or if she would have just decided enough is enough, she could have left you for dope. And then what would have happened then? You know, some parents, y'all put too much pressure on your kids to a point where some of these kids, again, they start feeling it. Tanya, what's going on, baby? Again, nobody should have to feel like they not living their fullest potential in life because they being set back. It's not the way to go. And again, some of you parents have to learn to detach. Even if you feel like you by yourself, right? You still got to detach. Because in the long run, the more you keep sinking your hooks into everything, the more that child is going to present you. And at some point, that child is going to get tired of you, period. That child is going to end up being a resentful child or a resentful adult. There's too many pressures in the world right now. And even while getting into adulthood, they shouldn't have to worry about the pressures of not living or being as successful. I, observation always going to be a good thing, but obsession can be the wrong thing. Obsession has again messed up a lot of different phases of aspects of life. Everything from families, relationships, even the close bonds. Because obsession again can be a dangerous tool. And it can also be a downfall for a lot of other people. But the obsession part is going to be more impactful on the person who's actually doing the obsession. When your kids get a certain age again, let them breathe. Let them figure out life. Yeah, you're still supposed to be a part of their life because you're gonna be in their life until the day you're gone. But again, in that same token, let your kids be. I've always felt like this. Key observation: a lot of times you want to keep your kids out of certain madnesses and situations. You have to be making sure you keep observing eyes, even when you're not the one being observant. I've said this time and time and again. As a community, it wasn't just the parents that was raising the kids. The people within the community was helping raise those kids, helping them stay on the right track. You know, it's not like that no more. So when you don't have too many observant eyes, and when your kids are young, your kids could get into all sorts of trouble. And in the same token, guess who the ball lands on? It still lands on you as a parent because you should have been doing better and you should have been definitely watching out and paying attention. Now, when they get into adulthood, there's only so much you can do. They are adults. They are going to figure out their lives one way or another. Obsession, definitely a wrong thing because, in the same token, it's not healthy because that's energy being wasted. It's unwanted, unhealthy energy being wasted. Period. But in that same token, again, we got to think about that. Your kids is only as strong as you are. So when you're making right decisions and strong decisions, it is the key element, again, to happy, healthy living, at least in my opinion. Observing your kids, which means also making sure they staying away from the drugs that could plague their mind, again, even to adulthood. Now, see, as a parent, you could be observant, especially if your child is of age. But if your child is on any type of drugs, as a parent, yeah, you are supposed to try to help your child, even try to get them into a rehab. But if your child decides this is just the life they gonna live, then you can only do so much. Some people have to learn that those obsessions, especially the wrong ones, will be critical. And it'll be critical because guess what? You're losing more than just one balance. Court, what's going on, baby? Now, again, essentially, I'm getting back to the obsession part. Some of you parents cannot delve into your kids' personal lives all day, every day when they're in adulthood. You can still be observant, but it shouldn't be an obsession. Again, that obsession will destroy any boundary. You're being obsessed because you feel your child is not happy. Even down to the simplest situations. Your child could have just had a disagreement. And it don't even gotta be a big all, WWF type of, moment. But some of you parents are quick to, oh no, you're not gonna do this, or you need to get away from. First of all, if your child is married, happily married, and you just having little light arguments, light disagreements, that does not give you the right to try to forcefully put yourself in that situation. If cool heads have already prevailed, why entice the situation even more? See, you have some women out there that are so bitter because of loneliness and everything else that they will even get to a point of ruining their child's lives again. Now let's keep it real. And we ain't just talking about things we seen on movies and stuff, because even that is painting a detailed picture of how some parents could be overbearing and obsessive. You can't be obsessive. Because again, you're gonna end up making some decisions in your obsession or your obsessive pulse that it could mess up your child. It could mess up their way of life or their way of thinking. And this is my thing. When they get into adulthood, they are technically on their own to do whatever. Again, whether they living under your roof or not, once your child gets the age of 21, there's only so much you can say or do. So the thing to remember is that you have to establish not just a communication with your child, even into adulthood, but have set boundaries. You gonna be married? Okay. You want to do this? Okay. Let me make sure the person that you're dealing with is at least, making you happy. And even as far as being observed, right? There's some parents that observe their children too well. So if their children look unhappy, even if they are with somebody, at some point, there's going to be a problem. Because at some point, this is what's going to be the problem. If that person made your child unhappy, okay, you have all rights to at least have a view and opinion on it. But if your child ends up finding somebody else and that person has actually put a smile on their face, is actually doing the utmost for them, yeah, that's good. See, and this is the thing. When they start inserting themselves in certain situations, that's when it becomes a problem. Let's go down the road, prime example. We've seen some movies where it always seems to be that way. You got a nice little happy couple, maybe one parent or either one of their parents, whether it's the mother or not, might have living in the household, but in the same token, that same person is causing destruction. Why? Because again, inserting yourself in every little thing or just being nosy about every little thing, especially about your significant other. Again, as kids, you couldn't be all in your parents' business and you couldn't say or see what was going on with certain things. So why should it be accepted for them to do so? No doubt, Kev, you already know, man. And deepest condolences, Sanjay, trust me. Nothing is worse than the pain of losing a parent or even losing both parents. So, we all here for it. But see, this is my thing. You know, Again, when your children are in that happy stages of their life, let them be happy. Let them live life and figure things out on their own. Now, when they do become to be unhappy, or they do come to you for some sort of advice, they coming to you for advice because if you was happily married or still happily married, hey, it's called giving advice when needed. You don't always got to insert yourself, but you can give the best type of advice. And see, and it's the thing. Again, be observant to what's going on. And I would even tell some of you young adults or some of you adults that are dealing with situations as far as elder parents to be observant as well. That's why it's always good to check up on your parents, especially when you are an adult. Because again, if you have a parent that's alone and don't really have nobody to confide in or do whatever with, that's a problem. Now, at some point, they start meddling into your business. But I would always say to some of y'all anyway that's in that position, if you're single, widowed, and you feel you just tired of being alone, you don't want to keep being in the same rut, you're going to have to get out of life and actually put the right people around you. You're looking for a companion, you can always find a companion or some sort of good friendship with somebody. You looking for more than that, hey, do what you got to do. Now, I can understand some of y'all feel like after everything is said and done, damn, I done lost my step. I don't know what's what. I'm not even too sure about this dating game, or I'm not too sure about anything. But you gotta nip that in the butt. When you keep blocking your blessings, especially when you keep, ignoring all the good people around you, you essentially mess yourself up. While you sitting there blocking your own blessings and missing out, you could have been happy by that. Now I appreciate you for dropping all those links, serious baby. Working hard for the 99 to 8,000, baby. Now, see, there's some people that would try to disagree with this, but They usually lose this battle because the majority of the times when we speak on these things, it's usually about truth. Now, again, when it's to a point where you're inserting yourself in their relationships, their marriage, even possibly messing up families if they got it, that leaves a foul taste all around the board. I've watched some women literally, and I've seen this not just on short videos and stuff like that. I've seen movies and shows like this. There always seems to be the bitter mother that just seems to always be in the middle of everything, causing chaos and drama. You never hear about the fathers causing too much drama. 9 out of 10, the fathers is always, or even the exes or whatever, are trying to get these women to understand. Listen, let these kids live. Let them do what they do. My kids can have all the arguments with their significant others as long as nobody's getting physical with nobody, and I don't have to do anything outside of what I don't want to do. But see, I would always say this too. It's not saying you're not supposed to take care of your family when they get into their elder stages, because that's just always the way it's been. But in the same token, even back in the days, there was boundaries set. There were certain things that, shoot, even your parents was like, nah, I don't want to go and go have your fun. Go do what you do, baby. And that's technically the way it's supposed to be. Let me come make sure my parents is good. Or let me come make sure my mom's is good, my pops is good. Now, see the difference? I haven't seen too many men mess up their child's relationships. And if they did, it was only on the level of, just doing some sneak F shit and it shouldn't happen. But a majority of the times it seems it's always the women that mess shit up. I'm not taking no jabs because again, I'm all for women being women and I'm all for the men being men and everybody playing their position. But in certain instances, again, there are some women who will mess up their own and then mess up their children. Now, if you are gonna mess up your own marriage to a point where it is divorce, now don't look to your kids to try to attach onto theirs. You're bringing your negativity into their relationships, onto their businesses. That starts messing them up. I've seen some people literally say, "Well, damn, why your mom still here? Why your pops gotta come?" And it's rare you even hear that. "Oh, damn, why your moms and pops here?" Like, again, you have to have a set boundary. And even if you want to have a parent or a relative or anybody staying with you, even if it's just for a small time juncture, there should be levels of respect and boundaries that's set. Shoot, you got some women out there right now who are ruining their children's relationships on a different level. There are some women who are that hard up, basically, that they'll even get to that point of trying to sleep with their child's whoever. Which again, that's a boundary that shouldn't be crossed at all. But you have some people who will do that. Like I said, the small handful of men that actually mess up their children's lives, that's because they did the same thing. Sleeping with either your child's friends or you doing some stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. So you're essentially messing up their mental and you making them not even want to trust you around anything. Again, it's the saddest thing in the world. You know, again, it's one thing to be observant, but don't be too obsessive. You can't be that obsessive over your children's lives when they get older because now look, they'll start having those problems. They'll start having those trust issues. They'll even get to a point where they might just disown you. Some people have let their obsessions be their downfalls. Why? Because guess what? Prime example, if you're a mother, your children are of age, they married, or one of your children might be with somebody that you feel for a fact you really got a thing for, there's some of them that will really do that and go that route. You will sit there and sleep with your children's fiance or significant other and mess up a balance and a boundary. That right there should never happen. That should never happen at all. Because again, that's boundaries being shredded on all angles. We've seen some stories like that. We've heard some stories like that. I can remember a story where this girl found out her mom was sleeping around with the boyfriend, and it wasn't just more than once. From what was said, more than three different boyfriends she done had, that mother done got hands on one of them, or all of them. Which again, that's the craziest thing in the world. You're that obsessed and that upset because you might not be getting what you think you should be getting. So now you're going to find a way to ruin that person's life or even disturb a balance that shouldn't be disturbed. This is crazy, you know. And I felt for that girl because again, when you look at the moms, then look at her, it's hard to believe that she came out of that woman. That woman was the prime example of the town slut trying to do anything just to get her rocks off and her nut off. Sorry to say it that way, y'all. But I've seen some things like that and heard some stories like that that just it rots my stomach because it's like, well, damn, ain't you supposed to be getting your own like you was teaching your kids to be their own and get their own? So what the hell happened in between time? Val, I'm coming here with them eyes, baby. Over here, shadow hugging, baby. No, serious is truth. This woman is the prime example of some mothers out there, ratchet and wretched on both ends. Ratchet behavior and wretched movement. So you basically messed up a strong bond with your kid because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. I don't feel that's fucking fair. Not at all. And it hurts because guess what? If somewhere down the line this girl decides to have kids, or even if she ain't already have kids by now, she ain't gonna trust you around them neither. She probably not even gonna trust to talk to you anyway. Because you can't be trusted at all. You mean to tell me out of a few boyfriends you done slept around with the key ones in particular that you know for a fact probably meant well by her? And see, I would say this too to some of y'all fellas too. Stop getting caught up because you are that weak minded. Can't be weak minded when it comes to temptation and seduction. Even if it's coming from somebody within the realms of the family or the in laws. Gotta learn to hold your composure. Even when you going through slight disagreements or whatever with your significant other, that does not give the right to go out and do anything that's going to again jeopardize your happiness in your future. Now it's a difference you being observant because you feel like there's something going on, and if there's something that you feel your child is out of the loop in, then okay, you do what you do. Trying to give them that advice, or at least try to let them know to just pay attention to the warning signs or pay attention to certain things. There are some people who have messed up their kids' marriages because they will make an assumption that their significant other is cheating, and then when the truth comes out that it was just all figment of imagination, Now you're not the one just looking stupid. Your child is looking stupid. Your child might have broke up a marriage, broke up a good relationship because of, again, you interfering and being obsessive. You know, and that's the thing though. When it comes to those type of decisions right there, yeah, they mess up everything. Again, that's like your father sleeping with your significant other. That would be like your father, again, sleeping with your significant other. That's not going to look right on any angle, and vice versa. See, again, it is about being observant. It's all about keeping your eyes open. Dee Dee, what's going on, Shadow baby? See, I'm not going to lie. We know there's some wickedness in the world. We know that there's people who know how to hide certain things. But if you're a real observer, you really know what to look for. And in the same token, you know what to get so involved. Okay, if I feel this is what it is, I'm going to let my child know. But I'm going to just tell him to observe and be careful. Because just because I might feel a type of way about something, that don't necessarily mean it's true. Even if I did my research and it still feels like something is odd or off, I still have no proof on anything. I'm just gonna leave it alone with let my child know, look, I can understand this, but there's certain things you really need to start looking out for. But again, it could just be a figment of imagination. Don't jump off the deep end. You know, just keep it cool. At some points you'll realize that. You know, observation is not just key. You know, observation is also just great awareness, basically. But essentially, you gotta let the hooks out your children go. They do give, they do get that age. Guess what? Let them find out life and let them live life. Because again, you've been teaching your kids since young, or try to basically get them acclimated to the real world ahead of them when they get into adulthood. So once they already are where they need to be at on the mental tip and everything else, you're supposed to let them go. Let them be on their own. Let them make their decisions. Let them see what's right for them and what's wrong for them. Again, you can only do so much until they turn the age of 21. And then after that, the most you can do is just give advice. You can't intervene, you can't interject all the time. So again, where does the borderline start and where does it stop? I'll be honest with you again. Um, the worst thing to ever happen is your marriage getting messed up because of your parents, because of either their loneliness, their bitterness, or just their obsession to ruin something. And there are some people in the world who try to ruin everything because they are miserable and unhappy. That's where the obsession comes to play. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with keeping your observant eyes open, but then you still got to remember to fall back and relax a little bit because, again, just because you might think something, that don't necessarily mean that it is. Nene, what's going on, baby? Yeah, that's the one thing though, serious. Like I said, even into adulthood, there should still be a boundary on things. Prime example, I would say even boundaries as far as the things that you don't. You know damn well you're not going with your moms or your pops to no damn club. You know you're not smoking or doing anything with your parents. Well, shoot, I know most people that I know ain't. You know, there's just some things you shouldn't share or do around your kids. Because essentially that's going to stick with them. But again, then when they get into adulthood, it's essentially up to them to make their own decisions. It's up to them to carve out their life. Whether they take a big step or a big misstep. Either which way, this is what you trained them for. This is what you taught them. Yeah, you're gonna expect up and downs in life. The one down that they shouldn't expect is their parents being the part of their downfall. Observation again, and I'm gonna bring it down to the younger ones. Some of y'all need to be observant of the things that you are doing around them as far as I don't care if you are on drugs. Your kid shouldn't be getting hold of or even knowing of what the hell you know. And when it start becoming obvious to where they even know it's something wrong with you, that should be your moment to stop. Now, just imagine you as a child or even as a teenager and you finding out or you're starting to really get hip to what's going on. Your parents is on drugs. Your parents is strung out, right? No child would want to ever see or witness their mother or father overdosing or even dying in front of them. But there are some people who have gone through that. See, again, while adults are being observant, the kids are being observant as well. So when the kids observe your actions and how you're doing things in life, they're going to essentially soak up whatever and they're going to feel that this is the way that they're supposed to live life when they get their own family. Again, it shouldn't be certain things. Kids shouldn't be observing violence in the home, especially between the parents. They shouldn't be observing that because, again, they're going to take that in and they're going to think that this is a way they keep a marriage happy or how they keep somebody with them. BMF, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And this is what I'm saying. You know, you have to be observant on all ends. Kids are gonna be observant to things even when they don't necessarily want to. Adults, y'all gonna be observant, but then again, you have to make sure you're observing everything that you're doing and saying around them. And again, show them a better example. Make it seem like it's hard to do when in all actuality it's not. There are always supposed to be boundaries and borderlines put into play even when they're young, even into adulthood. Because again, you're not going to sit there and tell your child about your sex life. And I'm quite sure your child ain't going to tell you about theirs. So, again, boundaries, where they supposed to be set at. And honestly, I would say it like this, at some point, you're going to have to keep certain things under wraps or certain things away from whoever. Because again, there's some things you just can't involve people in. You can't involve everybody into your relationships or marriage. You got to be observant of who's who because you have some people that even if they feel like you got something or if you're happy and these people are miserable, they'll do anything. They'll say and do anything to try to mess that up. So in that same token, you got to observe that. When you see bitterness around, you got to get rid of it. When you see obsessive behaviors and impulsive behaviors, you got to get rid of that. It is time to set the bar a little higher, you know. And again, observation is not just the key, but it's definitely going to be the winning factor. And I'm sorry, it is time for some of y'all to let your kids be kids. And also, when they get into adulthood, let your adult kids be adult kids. As far as let them have their own family, let them figure out life on their own. If they make a decision, if they take a slight downfall, let them get back up. If there's things you're gonna give them advice on, give them advice on it. But other than that, essentially, you are supposed to let them live free. See, I know that some parents feel like if I don't attach, if I don't keep on long enough, my babies is gonna leave me and I'm gonna be by myself. But for some of y'all, that should be the best thing. You want your kids to live their life and move on, right? So you can have your life to worry about, right? And move on. And feel free to doing so. See, the one thing I could say again, and you right on that, serious. I spoke about that a while back. There's some of y'all who are getting too comfortable around your kids. Some of y'all probably even doing acts in front of your kids that they shouldn't be seeing. So again, it is essentially you have to be mindful of the things you say and do. You want your kids to live their best lives. You want your kids to not have to worry about certain triggers and everything else. You gotta be a vigilant parent, but you also gotta make sure you're a fair parent. You have to always essentially have a balance, even in the things that you know. Prime example, if I'm a parent and I know for a fact I smoke, I do whatever, my kids is not going to see me smoke. My kids is not even going to know that I smoke. And even if they think they know I smoke, it still won't be present. And if I feel I gotta put a certain boundary in it, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna be like, if you think you know what I'm doing, guess what? That don't mean you should be doing it. Lady Shay, what's going on, baby? And this is the sad part about it. Some people have great boundaries and even great bonds with their kids to a point where you're not gonna get some of them sad stories of kids being ungrateful and not caring. Then you got those who essentially mess up their own bounds with their kids because some of y'all messing them up because you're trying to get them to be adults before time. There's some of y'all who are just having kids on top of kids, and essentially you're leaving the older kids to fend for everything else while you're still living your life partying. That doesn't make no sense at all. At a certain time frame, once there's kids involved, everything should be a changing moment. Observe that part of the life. All right, I got a kid now. I gotta change certain things. I gotta make sure I keep a certain balance. I gotta make sure that I'm trying to set the best examples so my kid doesn't have to worry about going down a certain road. If I feel I don't want my kid to do anything outside of anything until they are an adult, then I'm gonna have to implement that. Making sure they're not smoking, drinking, or doing anything along the sorts that could possibly mess them up. And honestly, I've always felt like this. There's no way nobody's being observant to what's going on. You know what the problem is too, serious? It's not just that the parents are fucking doing shit with these kids. You got the communities that are allowing certain shit to happen. I can know your mother, right? And in the same token, if I knew you was out here doing something, it's up to me to essentially say something. But then even in that token, some parents do not want to observe and they don't want to hear anything that's involving their child. I could be coming to you telling you your child is out here doing this. 9 out of 10, I'm gonna be the one getting cursed out. Mind your fucking business. Who the hell are you? Don't tell me about my child. Seeing that instance right there, that's a problem too. Again, be observant. Be observant to where you're doing the right things and you're putting your kids in the best positions. Don't drive them away because of your obsessive compulsive behavior. Why ruin your child's life because your life is kind of ruined or because your life is kind of sad? If your life is sad, you got to implement something into your life that makes you happy and that will get you off the boards of just trying to cling on to shit that you're not supposed to cling on to. I ain't the smartest man in the world, but I ain't the dumbest one either. And I definitely paid attention to a lot over the course of my time being on this earth. Again, the observer is always observant, even while being observed. See, why people observed me as far as coming up in life, I was observing everything else. I observed who's who to be around, who not to be around. And even when I could make a clear observation on things, I just followed my gut instincts and followed with what my heart was saying. If my heart was giving me that symbol of, yeah, I could definitely be around this person, I could definitely trust this person seen or whatever, then I'm doing what I'm doing. But in that same token too, I never let any type of thing slip over my head. And if I felt it slipped over, it slipped over. Yep, just like your mother's a punk ass. So sorry, baby. But here, while you was in here being a hoe bitch, let me do this real quick. My bad, y'all. You know we got one today. We always get one asshole here, but we always get them up out of here too. Dolly, what's going on, baby? Like I told people before, um, you have to be critical on things. And obviously, I can't be a punk ass if you had to come up under here under a troll name. So who's really the punk ass punk bitch? Now, the problem is, you know what? I think you're one of those people right there. Your mama probably ruined your fucking life, and now you miserable and you on YouTube trolling. Damn, son, get a life. Well, so I'm gonna tell you tonight, I'm not gonna be giving eulogies to faceless bitch niggas. Let me know when you actually grow a set of balls and you able to hit this panel. Like I said, I dropped the link in there, hoe ass nigga. So when you ready to be an adult, let's act like adults and stop acting like kids. Come on now. But again, observe shit. And not just observe it, but get a clear understanding on things. Once you see certain things for what it is, all right, I know how to move from here. I know how to calculate. I know how to just, get myself prepared for anything. And I also know how to accept things. Yeah, see, it always won, serious. It's always one. Always one. On that same token, it took you over an hour, so I'm guessing you had to make 20 troll pages. Good luck, buddy. Don't worry, you know I'll be sniping when anybody else ain't on. Come on, you forgot? Oh, you forgot? I'm trigger happy. I'm the real bishop today. I'm trigger happy. Ah, and I could tell that person definitely their parents ruined their life one way or another because look what we doing. Trying to troll a whole grown man. Oh, your mommy ain't give you enough breast milk, baby. Oh, I guess your mama ruined your relationship too. Damn, son. Damn, son. I knew you was going to pan into some sort of the lesson. Hey, hey, for those people who are in here, guess what? That person probably had a relationship ruined on both ends. Their parents probably ruined it, and they ruined it themselves. Kenny, what's going on, my guy? Ah, shit. But nonetheless, again, some of you parents, you have to learn to detach. You can do all the gripping and hugging and loving and everything else until they do get a certain age. And then after it's all said and done, you have to let them experience life. This is what you're training them for, to experience life when it's all said and done. You're not training them to be a complete failure. And then again, you'll have people who cry, why my kid won't find out? Why my kid won't do this? Why my kid won't do that? You're stopping them. If I'm thinking I'm going on a date and you're my elder parent, even though I'm taking care of you, you think I'm supposed to stop everything in life just for that? No. If it's not an emergency, let me live my life. And that's what some of y'all need to start essentially telling your parents. Not saying yell at them, spaz on them. No, sit down and talk with them. Same way they sat down and talked with you. When you feel a certain way about something, you have to let your parents know what it is. Look, with all due respect, you're kind of ruining my relationship. With all due respect, you're kind of stopping me from moving forward and progressing forward. We got to figure something out. And if the parent can't respect it, then hey, you just still got to live your life. Kenny, you ain't missed nothing, man. You did miss a troll in here, but hey, we always get one out this bitch. And it took him over an hour to make a damn page, so hey, you was missing me, baby. I'm sorry if your parents ruined your life, man. But damn, man. Oh, you know what? Every time you do come here, I start feeling the love. Let me show you how much of the love I feel today. Let me show you how much I feel. We missed you too, baby. I don't blame you, serious. But again, this is what I'm saying. You know, there are some people again who they go too deep. Again, it's time to set boundaries on all angles. And again, even when it's time to have a conversation, look, I'm trying to live my life, but you're kind of stopping that. But again, when it comes to certain situations, communication will always be the key. Observation, definitely an important key, but communication is the one. And if you can't even sit down and have a cordial or any type of conversation, that's where the problems start. James number 8, what's going on, my guy? Could have swore I seen your ass in here earlier. um, Serious. Like you just gotta look at it from that standpoint. Let the hooks go. You know, Yeah, you could run interference when they young. But once they get older, you can't run as much interference or none at all. And this is what I'm saying. All you have to do a lot of times is just let nature take its course on things. Again, as long as your kids are not being abused in any way, shape, or form, let them live and let them discover what they're going to discover. Oh, no, Dolly, you good. But this is what I'm saying again. There should be a boundary on everything that's being said and done again. Essentially, you're going to have to realize that some of the things you think you're going to be able to always mess up, you ain't going to mess it up. Now, if your kids are smart, your kids will know there's just some things they not going to bring into a conversation. If I'm coming to talk with my moms and my pops, whatever the case is, I can sit down and have that conversation. And not a conversation about my love life, none of that. Just regular stuff. How you been doing? How's life been going? How's this? What's going on with that? Not going to sit here and talk about some, well, I heard you and your man having problems. I heard you and your woman having problems. That should never be uttered out. Doesn't matter. And even if there is problems going on, again, they are essentially going to have to do their own thing and figure it out. And that's the problem. Like again, where does the borderline start and where does it end? There's always supposed to be borders regardless. Obsession on another level. We'll kind of speak about that tonight. Like I was saying earlier, there's some people who are moving around even on this app that are just too obsessed with too much. And at some point, it does become a problem. Again, people who have a narcissistic behavior and an impulsive ass decision making, at some point, they mess themselves up. We need to start raising the vibrations higher. Some of you are so obsessed with one person that you'll mess around and even go to the deepest extent to try to ruin them or even try to just make their lives miserable. But you're going to have mentally strong people who are just going to be for the fight. Why are we not having these talks and discussions? Because apparently some people don't care. And it's sad because in this world here, as it's always been, the children can't choose the parents, and vice versa. Some parents can't choose their children because, in the same token, you have some parents who are being neglected. You got some parents who they don't have no care at all, and they've been the best parents. See, I've always felt when there's more than one or two siblings in the household, everybody, even the family member that they feel is one of the most irresponsible, should still be responsible. Does go a long way. See, like I said earlier, some people's obsessions will get to a point where they don't hear anything outside of what they hear or see anything outside of what they see. And again, it does come back to bite them in the ass. There's some of you who are obsessed with just trying to, quote unquote, trying to bully and be a pest too. But then guess what? When that person punches you the fuck back, that's when everybody plays the victim. See, again, if you're not really ready to battle sharks and everything else, you need to chill the fuck out. Some of the things you're obsessing over, you ain't getting paid for it. Some of the people you trying to make an obsession over and trying to bother, you're not making a dime off of. There's some of y'all that are running around here making all sorts of troll accounts, doing all sorts of fuck shit on here that will either have some people want to leave this app for good or just make some of these people go full blown postal on you. See, that's an obsession. When you're that obsessed over one person that you can't just seem to chill the fuck out and go move on about your business, that's a problem. That goes to show a narcissistic behavior. That means you are willing to even go to the depths of hell to try to make somebody miserable. But if that person is high spirited, if that person ain't fearing nobody but that higher power, you're basically doing all that shit for nothing. Platty, what's going on, baby? Appreciate you, Dolly, baby. And you always more than welcome, and welcome to the Eulogy family, baby. See, again, communication, you need that. Good observation, you definitely need that. Listening and understanding, another critical plus. But obsession, that's going to be a major downfall again. You're so obsessed with trying to hurt somebody. You're so obsessed with trying to give somebody grief. But in the same token, you're giving yourself grief. Why? Because guess what? When it's all said and done and that person is still standing, still smiling, and still doing everything else, and you can't figure out why, that's when you'll be even more angry. You'll be even more obsessed. And then now look, you taking your time out of your busy day, if it is busy. Well, I doubt it's busy anyway, because if it was busy, you wouldn't even be on this internet all day. Or you wouldn't be running around under troll pages and everything else, trying to cause confusion and mayhem. So essentially, again, your obsession, especially over a red app, over this red app, is going to be your downfall. Because it's only essentially a matter of time. Platty, what's going on, baby? I need you to bring me one of them furry raccoons, baby. I think we got beef. No, but again, I've seen some people do so many obsessive things on this app even before I became a content creator. So again, it goes to show you where obsessions go wrong. Your obsession over one person could lead to a dangerous moment. Prime example, may she rest in peace. Look at Selena. Look how her tragedy happened. Obsession. Look how many people have been obsessed to the point of stalking somebody, going to their house and doing everything to a point where they're getting arrested, possibly doing jail time. Why? Because again, you're that obsessed with somebody that you just can't move the fuck on or can't accept things for what it is. That's a sad thing right there. Latanya, what's going on, baby? It's all right, Dolly. If you was trying to get back in the chat, yeah, they done switched something up again on this damn app again. The chat would be in the comment where the comments is supposed to be at, but you got to scroll it over a little bit. And I appreciate you again for dropping all those links, serious baby. Nah, that's not just madness, Kenny. That's an obsession. Like I said, anytime you gotta worry about the next man or woman, when you could be worried about things going on in your life and changing the best courses of action for your life, that essentially says that your life is already in shambles and you ain't doing much to try to help that. And I've always felt like this again. At some point, when is your obsession get the best of you? It will get the best of you at some point. If some of you are doing things like, again, we've seen look at celebrities that are trying to live their normal lives or just trying to live and just be happy. Some of them that lost their lives. Some of them had to put out restraining orders. Some of them even had to defend themselves from stalkers. That's an obsession. Miss Jewel, what's going on, baby? Commander, what's going on, baby? Moot moot. It's time for some people to learn that an obsession of any kind could be more than just a downfall. It could even cost you your own life. Now, what happens if you trying to stalk somebody and that person is prepared and ready to shoot and kill? Or they stab and kill, or anything along the lines and kill. So you just basically lost your life and ruined your life because you can't move on. You don't know when to take certain things for what it is. Even as simple as no, a lot of times people act like they can't take that. You got to learn to accept the word no sometimes. You have to. You're not always going to get a yes in life. That's something else that people should learn. And if somebody has already told you more than once on certain things, now that's borderline stalking, that's borderline behavior that's going to get you hurt or that's going to get you arrested. You better think about what's more important. Definitely appreciate everybody that's tuning in again tonight. See, I already talked about the obsessions and the observations as far as parents is concerned. Now I'm talking about this as far as content creators and just people in their normal day-to-day lives. Be observant on certain things. And I would say women, just like men, if you feel like you being stalked, you feel like you're being, you know, feel like you being followed, feel like there's somebody that's just doing too much, you have to say something. On the next course of action, you're gonna have to do something. And this is one thing. Some of y'all are obsessed over things that you can't have and you refuse to accept it. This is a common problem that we see every so often. I can't accept the fact that somebody told me no on this prime example, a business venture. I can't help, or I'm mad because this person told me no. So now I'm going to try to do anything to destroy or try to sabotage that business. I can't accept the word no from somebody telling me I can't borrow money. So now I'm going to be that obsessed to try to do anything to either get them to give me the money, or I'm gonna go to the people nearest to them to get the money, or I'll even lie and tell these people I need the money, knowing I don't necessarily need it. Some people have to learn to listen to reason sometimes. And obviously, if some people would listen, some people would save themselves a lot of drama, a lot of stress. Even down to relationships. There are people who have turned down advances because either they ain't ready, they not interested, or even if they are interested, might just not be the type of person that they want to be with. You have to learn to accept that. If a woman says that she wants a tall man, you can't force her to be with no short man. Like, and if you're short, you can't force her to be with you. You have to learn to accept things. Accept the word no sometimes. It don't hurt to do so. I ain't messing with you, Platty. Don't start that madness, Platty. I got something for your ass today, Dad. Damn it. Missed you too, Platty. But again, some people have to learn to accept no. If somebody told you no and they adequate on telling you that, or if they just telling you exactly what it is and it's truth and it's heartfelt and it's coming from the spirit, learn to accept it. The reason why you should learn to accept things, even into adulthood, is because when you have kids, you don't want your kids going out there wilding out like that. I just watched the video clip and I should have saved it. This guy had an issue with his wife, but the reason why he had an issue with his wife is because his wife was trying to um overlook something that was said. Son came home drunk, came to talk to you, and told you that he forced himself on somebody. Now, as the father, yeah, you know he was going to be mad about that. Because in the long run, if our child has done something that we know for a fact is wrong and we taught them that is wrong and they still went and did it, no, we're not supposed to be sitting here and coddling him, holding his hand. And if it's to a point where the advances that they made is possibly on that type of tip, even to almost the R word, right? How do you as parents try to defend that? Most parents ain't going to defend that. Your child has just done something that you know for a fact you didn't teach them. But then again, it's supposed to be observant. You know, and this is a problem now. Again, people not accepting no. If I'm talking to somebody and I feel it's going to get hot and heavy and she says stop, all right, I got to stop. I'm not going to just continue to keep going knowing she just already said stop and said it clear as day. Same way. Woman got to respect something when a man says no to certain things. People have to learn to accept things for what it is. And then from there, you just keep moving. And rejection does hurt to a degree, but it's not something that's going to kill you. Again, those obsessions will be your downfall. Because now, if you're that obsessed that you're making advances to the point where it's going to get critical, guess who's going to jail? And guess who's going to have a hard time while they're in jail? You. Why? Because instead of you following your instinct and just accepting something, you want to do something anyway because you just want the thrill of doing it. And that's the thing. Prime example. You could like somebody, but if they don't like you as much, or if they are feeling you, but they just not ready for anything, or if they feeling you, but you know that it's not gonna go but so far, Common sense is going to tell you, all right, I just got to accept things for what it is. But when you don't accept that, that becomes an obsession. I got to get this person with me. I got to let this person see I'm the one for them. That's wrong right there. That's almost like strong arming, but also being controlling. You can't control a dynamic. You can't control a situation. See, they say rejection does breed obsession. It does. Because some people have never been told no. But when you're being told no, you have to learn to accept that. Even as a kid, yeah, you might hear a bunch of years. Can I have this? Yeah, you can have this. But then you want to hear times when they say, no, you can't have that. So again, you have to learn to accept no. There was times I was going to hear yeah as a kid. There was times I was going to hear no. The times that I heard no, I don't care even if I thought I was going to have a tantrum. I had to accept things for what it was. Patience is always going to be a key because some people have short patience. Some people have a lot of patience. So again, patience is also a key factor because without patience and without education and know-how, you'll end up making that obsession your downfall. See, prime example. This should be learned as a kid. If your parent told you no to something and you still try to make your duty to do it, when you suffer the consequences, you can't get mad at nobody. You can only accept it. If my mom would have told me I can't go and eat nothing out the cookie jar and I still go grab something or do something, and if that jar breaks or if something else happens, guess what? I got to take all that responsibility and accountability. See, things like that need to be learned at a young age. When people tell you no, you have to learn to listen. And that's something that should always be instilled. You know, you have to educate them young so when they get a certain age, they don't go down the route of trying to force things or even being a menace. That's why it's always good to be observant. Your observations and your critical judgments, they will factor out everything. But again, when a person don't know how to accept no for an answer, that right there is where you have to be on point and you also have to be diligent. Because again, let's think about the situation with Selena. Had a whole stalker. That stalker killed her. Look how many actresses have done pulled out police reports, complaints, restraining orders, everything. Because you got people that don't know how to just accept no. Or you got people that are just so obsessed with somebody that they so starstruck that they willing to do anything. Gotta learn to accept things again for what it is. Miss Tracy, what's going on, baby? See again. Some people ain't gonna want to accept things for what it is, but at some point you will have to. See, this is where that going against the grain a lot of times gets you hurt. Because you're going against the grain on something that was already said to you. But because you don't want to accept it, now you're putting yourself in a dangerous position. That's like me telling you as a parent, I don't want you out here robbing and stealing. I want you to try to live life the right way and I want you to do what's right. But in that same token, if you decide to go against the grain and do whatever, then guess what? As a parent, I can have love for you, but you're gonna have to accept your accountabilities and responsibilities and take some. That's why I said it's always good for them to learn something well before time. You should have known that. I told you to keep that side gate open. You gonna make me chew you out? You gonna make me chew you out on this damn live? They got the phone working now. Niggas still gonna be mad at me. I just started. This is my first one. They gonna be mad at me. I ain't start one after I go on break. Ain't worried about that. All right, cool. Yeah, my fault, y'all. Y'all already know his workflow. Pixie, what's going on, baby? I seen you in the beginning of the live, baby. Again, like as a parent, you're supposed to be observant to those things, and you are supposed to give the right damn tools and education. You don't want your kid being out here like a monstrosity. You don't want your kids going out in the world not accepting no and everything else, because then them not accepting no will get the situations like I just spoke about earlier. Your child is going to end up making the wrong type of movements on somebody, and that's not going to be good for them. And essentially, you're going to be left holding the bag. And you're going to be left holding the bag because, again, you didn't necessarily have to drop the ball when it came to your kids, period. See, again, it's time for people to learn to accept the word no. I don't care if you're a child. I don't care if you're a teen. I don't care if you're a grown up. You have to learn to accept the words no. And you're going to have to accept, again, when people are telling you something for your own good, learn to listen. By you not listening, you're going to set yourself up for all sorts of downfalls. Again, you already know, Jewel, baby. And again, implementing that education on your kid and even educating yourself to a degree is going to be, is going to be a key element for everything. Again, obsession on all angles will be a downfall. Some of y'all obsessed with trying to bother and even try to hurt people on here. And that's the wrong type of obsession, because guess what? That obsession is going to get you hurt or possibly killed. So I would suggest that some of y'all start making key observations on things. And also keep yourself away from people who don't know how to have self-control. That is another reason why some people are doing the things they're doing. They have no self-control at all. When somebody tells you no, you can't be mad, can't be upset. You could be a little sad. But again, rejection, for every one person that rejects you, there's five more that will accept you. So that's the mindset that some of y'all need to go in. When one window of opportunity ain't open, there'll be others. And I'm sorry, but at some point, this is a damn thing that I might just throw a part two to. Because again, we gotta come to a conclusion. See, this is a prime example of why some of the things in the world are happening now. People don't know when to say no. People don't know when to accept no. And people are just not trying to hear anything that anybody's saying. The only thing they want to hear is what they're saying and what they're hearing. It's not a cool thing. And if you don't try to instill that into your kids at a certain age, when they do get a certain age, it's gonna be lights out for them because they're gonna always expect somebody to just say yeah to them. They're gonna always expect to just take and do whatever and not have no consequence. But we all know there's always consequences to your actions, especially when they're not good actions at all. I definitely might do a part two to this. Definitely. Just feel like this had to come out tonight again. Actually, this would be a part two because I spoke about some of this morning. But again, on all levels in life, obsession will always be your downfall. It will be the difference maker to a degree. So essentially, it is time for you to learn when to detach, basically. You have to. You might not want to, but you have to. And when you're obsessed with somebody or you're making obsessions over people, that will leave a critical and crazy key element that's going to mess you up. Because now you don't know how to just stop doing shit. You're just going to continuously do it until something bad happens. Again, some of y'all should learn to take rejection. Some of y'all should learn to know when people are done with you, they're just done with you. And some people should just learn that, guess what? You're not always going to get what the hell you want in life. You can get what you need, but you're not always going to get what you want. Always remember that difference. 'Cause I'm not going to lie to you. This is a part of the reason, too, why some people have trust issues or anything else, especially when they do come to people. It is time for y'all to, hey, motherfucker, hey, leave that damn gate alone. My bad, y'all. Always one dumbass while I'm at work. Always one. No doubt, Platty. I appreciate you, baby. I'll probably see you in these streets later too, Pixie baby. Like I said, I wasn't gonna hold everybody all night neither. I just wanted to bring this part out again about observation and obsession. It's good to be observant. It's good to see things for what it is. But it's a bad notion when you're obsessed over everything. Being obsessed will lead to nothing but permanent stress. You don't want to be going to an early grave because of that stress. It is time for you to learn when to unfold, when to detach. It is essentially time for y'all to do so. When you don't learn the simplest things like rejection and how to take no, that's when your problem starts. And that's possibly where your livelihood can end. Shouldn't be that obsessed over one person or over multiple people. It's not healthy. Essentially, you're gonna land yourself either in the hospital or early grave. So the only thing I can say as far as tonight is concerned, Some of y'all need to get whatever in your life, bring some happiness and joy into your life, and then move forward in life. Ultimate goal again, learn the differences between observation and obsession. You could be as observant as you want to be, but when you're obsessed over certain shit, it ain't gonna look right. Obsession, another reason I say is a bad thing, because some of you people are obsessed with looking into your significant other's phones or trying to dig deep to find something. But remember, when you're that obsessed to do something like that, essentially you end up finding out something you don't want to find out, or you're gonna look stupid when you find out that that person has been doing nothing the whole time. One thing I'm going to say before I get up out of here again, that is a critical element to everything, from kids to adults. Not just being observant, but not having an obsession over everything. Some of you are even having the smallest obsession when it comes down to clothing and everything else. Shouldn't be that way. Time to set the bar a little higher. It's time to start bringing more awareness where it's needed. And on that note, if you ain't listening, you should be listening. Because at some point, there might be something along this message that helps save your life. Time for some of y'all again to start respecting the things that need to be respected. And when it comes to even obsession on here, some of y'all obsessed with people even to the point again of stalking them. I done heard some things in these streets that didn't sound too good at all. Again, some of y'all need to take a lesson from certain people. You're gonna keep being obsessive, you're gonna keep being a nuisance, you're gonna keep being a stalker, and when it's all said and done, you're gonna end up sitting in jail, seeing the fucking judge. You better remember that part. Because that's the problem with some of y'all. You think it's going to be cool to keep doing things and doing things and doing things until you realize it wasn't cool in the first place. So now, when your ass is sitting in a cold jail, wondering what your fate is going to be, you're going to be sitting there thinking to yourself, damn, I didn't have to go this far. But it's going to be too late by then. Some of y'all will let your obsessions drive you straight into a wall. It is time for y'all to start getting back in tune with yourselves, retraining and re-educating yourselves. So when you have kids or if you already got them, they don't go down that same path of obsession and rejection. I think this was a good conversation tonight. And again, I want to give all the shout outs and the loves to everybody that's been a part of this building, been a part of this eulogy family, and is still continuing to be here and just grow and prosper. See a lot of y'all growing and prospering and doing your damn thing. All the content creators that be in here, whether they in here every day or not. See a lot of y'all doing your things on here and off here, and that's still something good to see. It is good to try to have a good conversation amongst folks who can actually have a good conversation. I can never have conversations with people that just don't see or understand certain things. I can't be around people who I feel for a fact are gonna be two-timed or conniving or anything along those lines. It's just not me. And I would tell y'all again before I get up out of here, some of y'all need to be wary of rejection and learn to take it and accept it. And some of y'all should just learn when you burn friendships with people to a point of no repair. Don't be obsessed with trying to make them miserable. Just move on with your life. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. No stress. On that note, though, we still got more content coming. So I feel like I really discussed everything I needed to tonight as far as this topic. I could revisit it at some point. But nonetheless, let me get up out of here. I actually got to start doing some work now. Damn, they done fixed the damn job phone. Shit. Well, let me get up here and start doing what I got to do. Again, it's always a blessing to be amongst the family and everybody else, and even for the ones that I knew. This is a forum where you can come be yourself, laugh, have fun, and have great conversations and uplift the ones that are needed. This is what I continuously do, and this is what I will continue to do. Don't matter if the numbers grow or not. I'm happy with the fact that I built and come across some great people. And the ones that aren't here, who decide to go their ways or just decided to stray away and not even give a real indentation on what's what. Again, may God bless you in whatever endeavors you're doing in life. Cause see, I'm not gonna be obsessed or stressed over everything or anything that's out of my control. I'm just gonna move forward and keep continuing to do this content like I'm supposed to. So again, for those who might be new to the channel, you already know what it is. You're gonna have days when we're gonna have calm, cool conversation. There's gonna be days I'm not gonna be in the calmest of moods, but I'm still gonna get a message out one way or another. With that being said, let me get up out of here. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Definitely be back tomorrow morning for that safe. And I could be doing something tomorrow on Twitch before work. So y'all definitely make sure y'all following your boy on Twitch. And definitely Friday follow me because we got some shit going on. Definitely gonna have a rock out session. So y'all more than welcome to chime in and be up in here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, you already know that love is love and it be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. And also, before I get up out of here, I'm thinking about something that I was talking about the other day. I think I might implement it. Um, I'll see how next Thursday pan out. Could be coming out of retirement just for that night. Who knows? Next Thursday, I could be implementing open mic poetry, music, and all of that again. So doesn't matter if it's spoken word, doesn't matter if it's whatever. Whatever you feel you want to bring to the platform, the link will be there, and y'all already know y'all more than welcome to chime in on it. Definitely was a blessing as always, and I definitely see some of y'all running around these streets tonight or even tomorrow. So y'all have a blessed one. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.